Alright, so in this video I am going to show you how to add mixed numbers without any regrouping. So when you first look at two mixed numbers, it's not always easy to tell whether you will have to regroup or not. That's why it's good to know both ways, and this is the first way to do it. So we have here 3 1/3 plus 2 1/4. So the first thing that I like to do when I am adding mixed numbers is to set them up vertically. So 3 1/3 plus 2 1/4. So that's what I mean when I say set them up vertically. So first you do that, and then I like to separate my whole numbers from my fractions. I'm going to do it with a dotted line just to show you. You don't have to use a dotted line. You can just use a regular line, but I like to separate them because you work with them separately. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to cover up the whole numbers and just work with the fractions. Here I have 1/3 plus 1/4. Now we already know how to add fractions, so this should be pretty simple. First thing I need to do is look for a common denominator between 3 and 4, and I know that 12 could be a number that both of those numbers go into. So I'm going to use 12. I'm going to set up my equivalent fractions. Okay, and the connection between 4 and 12 is 3, so I need to do the same thing on the top. 1 times 3 is 3. So now I have 3/12, and then the connection between 3 and 12 is 4, so I need to do the same thing on the top. 1 times 4 is 4. So now all I have to do is add 4/12 plus 3/12, and I get 7/12. So that is the fraction part of this problem. Now all you have to do is add the two whole numbers on the left. 3 plus 2 is 5. So my answer here is 3 1/3 plus 2 1/4 is 5 7/12. So that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's no regrouping, there's no extra process. You just have to first add the fractions together and then add the whole numbers together, and then you get your answer, all right? So we're gonna do one practice problem. So 2 3/8 plus 5 1/16. And I'm gonna separate my whole numbers and my fractions. So now I'm working with, I'm going to actually cover up the whole numbers. And I have 3 1/8 plus 1/16. So I need to find a common denominator between 16 and 8. And I know that I can see that 8 goes into 16, so I'm just going to use 16. Okay, here 1/16, I already have 16 as a denominator, so I don't need to do any work. I'm just going to bring over that 1. But then here I have 8 turning into a 16, and then a mystery numerator here. So I need to figure out, well, what's the connection between 8 and 16? Multiply by 2, and then I'll do the same thing on the top. 3 times 2 is 6. So now I have 6/16 and 1/16. And pretty easy to now add those two together. 6 plus 1 is 7, and then I just bring down my denominator, 7/16. Now all I have to do is add together those two whole numbers. 2 plus 5 is 7, so my answer is 7 7/16. Okay, so that is how you add mixed numbers without having to regroup.